Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Climate and Energy Outlooks workshop for Lassen, Plumas, and Sierra counties. As people are making their way into the workshop, we ask that you introduce yourself in the chat. And as you enter the workshop, we ask you also please mute and turn your video off. So we'll just wait another few minutes to get started. Hello, everyone. If you're just joining us, welcome to today's Climate and Energy Outlook workshop hosted by Sierra Business Council and the Sierra Nevada Energy Watch program. If you'd like, please introduce yourself in the chat. And we ask that you mute your microphones and turn your video off until the Q&A session at the end. We'll just wait another couple of minutes for any other registrants. Hi, welcome, Brandon. Thanks for joining today. And we'll just give it another couple minutes here, see if any more registrants will end up joining. Thanks so much for your patience. Hi, Lee. Welcome.
Good afternoon. Thanks for the invite.
Absolutely. Happy to have you. All right. Well, I guess in the interest of everyone's time, we can get going. And some people might be entering late. And so I'll ask my colleagues, Kaylee and Katie, to enter or let them enter as we proceed. So again, welcome to today's workshop hosted by Sierra Business Council and the Sierra Nevada Energy Watch on our climate and energy outlooks for Lassen, Plumas, and Sierra counties. We ask that everyone mute their microphones and turn their videos off just for this brief presentation. And just a note, we will be recording this presentation and workshop for educational purposes. Today, we will discuss our climate and energy outlook handouts and review next steps that you could take in response to those handouts. My name is James Sedlak, Civic Spark Fellow with the Sierra Business Council and Sierra Nevada Energy Watch representative for Sierra County. So first, I'd like to introduce the other SNEW teammates on this call, and I'll kick it over to Kaylee Reynolds.
Hi there, my name is Kaylee Reynolds. I work for Sierra Business Council on the Sierra Nevada Energy Watch team, and I am the representative for Plumas County.
Hello all, I am Katie Ford, the planning technician for Lassen County, and I recognize Gary from Lassen County. So thanks for representing. We're excited to have you guys here.
Great. Thank you both, Katie and Kaylee. Throughout this presentation, we'll be going over a lot of information, but at the end, you'll have our email contacts. So at any point afterward, please connect with us if you have any questions, and feel free to share our contact information with anyone. And that info is going to be dropped in the chat. So today's agenda, we'll just briefly touch on Sierra Business Council, what exactly our climate and energy outlooks are, energy efficiency as a whole, the Sierra Nevada Energy Watch program, funding and training opportunities, where links will be dropped in the chat. So if you're interested in something, just keep an eye out in the chat box, and we'll leave time at the end for question and answer. And again, I ask that everyone just mute your microphones and turn off your video for now. So by way of brief introduction, Sierra Business Council is a nonprofit based in Truckee that serves the Sierra Nevada region through programs focusing on its triple bottom line: the economy, the environment, and community. And within SBC, we have the Sierra Nevada Energy Watch, which I'll probably refer to as SNEW moving forward, which is a program that strives to expand energy efficiency within the region and ultimately save communities money. It's a no-cost program for public agencies and small businesses funded by PG&E. Next, we have the Sierra Climate Adaptation and Mitigation Partnership, also known as Sierra CAMP, which is a cross-sector membership of businesses, public agencies, and nonprofits, and more, which facilitates regional adaptation and mitigation strategies and collaboration. It's funded by Proposition 68 Resilient Communities Grant Fund from the Sierra Nevada Conservancy, and it's currently working on a vulnerability assessment for the Sierra Nevada region. And we also have the Sierra Small Business Development Center, which offers free consulting and training to help businesses in select counties in the area, including these today. Together, these programs helped inform the climate and energy outlook, which we've circulated as handouts throughout our network, so you may have seen them by way of email or other outreach, and we'll drop those links in the chat. So the goal of the climate energy outlook is to highlight climate projections for each county, discuss related energy impacts, and highlight potential solutions. To get these climate projections, we use CalAdapt's local climate change snapshot tool. And just by a yes in the chat, has anyone here used CalAdapt before? See some yeses, some nos. Okay. Well, CalAdapt is a free public access tool that displays climate change projections at different jurisdiction levels. It's been used to support vulnerability assessments throughout the state, so we found it appropriate for this project. We used the business as usual future emission scenario and CalAdapt priority models for various climate scenarios to compile our mid-century projections, which you may have seen in the handout. We also used information from SBC's Sierra Nevada Vulnerability Assessment to brainstorm solutions for the counties we're talking about today. And for this project, we talked about we're highlighting three key environmental indicators: extreme heat, wildfire, and snowpack. And if you'd like to explore CalAdapt later on after the presentation, we'll drop that link in the chat for you as well. So first, we're going to look at annual acres burned for the three counties. The y-axis shows the acres, and the x-axis shows the years. 2020 is about right way in the middle of the graph. Mid-century, which is around 2065, or 2050 is about right over that gray line in the charts below, and end of century is all the way to the right. The purple shaded area shows the projections for wildfire acres burned, and the line throughout that area is the average. we can see that Sierra and Plumas County through mid-century into end century shows an increase in annual acres burned. However, on the other hand, Lassen County is markedly different. It's hard to see, but it increases slightly by mid-century and decreases some by the end of century. And if this seems counterintuitive to some, it could be attributed to variability in the modeling that sometimes produces unexpected results. Meanwhile, the numbers at the bottom of the chart show how we calculated the percent changes demonstrated in the handout. And so we see again, Lassen County by mid-century, we'll see very small, or is expected to see a very small increase, whereas Sierra and Plumas County can see upwards of 70%. And so common impacts associated with wildfire risk, which everyone here may be privy to already, include public safety power shutoffs, which can reduce other critical appliances like wells and medical devices. It can create smoke hazards and unhealthy breathing conditions. It could threaten assets and infrastructure, especially deteriorated buildings and that are aged. And it could prompt quick evacuations that may turn out to be costly for leaving energy consuming appliances running. However, some solutions or responses to these impacts include evaluating contingency initiatives like microgrids and battery storage, especially using fuel breaks if they're out in the wild and urban interface. Excuse me. Installing air filters in your HVAC systems, implementing retrofits to buildings that also tie into home hardening measures that are more resistant to ember and fire, and applying for grants that can support emergency communication systems and other smart controls where you can operate your devices from afar. Next, we're going to look at April 1st snow water equivalent. Oh, sorry. And April 1st snow water equivalent shows the amount of liquid water present in snowpack in inches. And April 1st is used as a standard time period to measure the snowpack because it's traditionally thought that it's indicative of water supply for future months ahead. And here in the graph, the y-axis shows the inches of water, the x-axis shows the time. Very similar, 2020 is right in the middle of the graph, and end of century is at the end. And the two colors represent two different sets of data. Again, the purple represents our projections going into the future, and the tan shaded area represents historical modeled data, whereas the gray line throughout that section represents observed historical data. And the charts below show the numbers that we use to calculate our percent changes for each county. And it's important to note that although each of the counties is likely to see around a 65% decline in snow water or snowpack water, Lassen County is markedly less significant because it's only a couple of inches. So just wanted to note that. And such decline in snowpack water is likely to have impacts on supply and usage, as we all probably know that mountain snowpack plays a key role in the water cycle in the region. Potential impacts include reduced water supply for utilities, agriculture, groundwater, well recharge, disrupted stream flows, changing the schedules for hydroelectricity and other human reservoir systems, and it can intensify competition for supply during summer months. However, some responses include conducting water use audits to improve energy efficiency and cutting unnecessary costs, installing upgrades like low flow fixtures, leak detection devices, and efficient landscaping, and developing energy action plans, setting goals, strategies, and actions for reduced water and energy use. Next, we'll look at extreme heat for the three counties. And for the purpose of this tool, an extreme heat day is defined as a day in a year when the daily maximum temperature exceeds the threshold listed for each county. The y-axis shows the number of days in intervals of 10, and the x-axis shows the years. And as we can see, it looks like each county is likely to see a steady increase in extreme heat days through mid-century and into end century. Extreme heat and general warming trends will have strong influences on other forces like drought conditions and wildfire risks. However, more specific energy impacts include higher demand for cooling and running appliances like medical machines, general fatigue among individuals and personnel, heat stress on building regulating systems and infrastructure. But some responses include investing in equipment upgrades like better HVAC and smart controls to save energy when cost when feasible, promoting workshops around reducing local emissions and extreme heat safety, pursuing Title 24 building standards for meeting code and accounting for such environmental stressors, and using appliances during off-peak hours to at least try and save money if you're going to use those things. And so together, these considerations might encourage us to think about energy resilience, especially with regard to maximizing energy storage, like, for example, during power safety shutoffs. But energy resilience is made easier when basic energy efficiency measures have already been taken place. Doing so enables these backup equipment to regain operating status on less energy and cost. So we encourage energy efficiency before true energy resilience and storage. And with that in mind, we'd like to launch a quick poll to see how familiar people are with energy efficiency actions. So if you wouldn't mind taking a few seconds just to answer that question there on the poll, be interested to see what we're working with. See, somewhat very, okay. Great. So about split 50-50 on people who are somewhat and very experienced with this type of work. Appreciate that. So this slide shows many ways in which public agencies and small businesses can work towards energy efficiency. However, some very basic steps include swapping light bulbs for LEDs, investing in smart controls like auto thermostats and motion sensor switches when people are not using rooms or appliances, weatherizing and insulating your building, and installing water-saving appliances. And at the end of the day, energy efficiency aims to use less energy, save money, and reduce emissions. And for more help thinking about solutions, we encourage you to connect with SNEW. The SNEW team assists customers with energy efficiency services, including project management, building energy audits, facility benchmarking reports, education and training webinars, greenhouse gas inventories, energy action plans, and financial support and guidance. To date, program successes have included 25 million kilowatts of saved energy for thousands of customers, over 30 greenhouse gas inventories for public agencies, and over 12 energy action plans and climate action plans, and more. And if you have a specific solution or project in mind, one popular financing option for public agencies and businesses is on-bill financing. OBF is essentially a loan from PG&E determined by energy savings and associated project costs, which gets paid back through the customer's utility bill. When the project has been completed and the loan is paid off, customers can expect to see lower utility bills. Some benefits of this process include zero out-of-pocket costs, where customers should not go into the negative, as demonstrated in the graph below, 0% interest financing terms, and bill neutrality, where customers should expect to see no change, with no rise in their monthly utility bill. Furthermore, SNEW and Sierra Camp can connect clients to funding opportunities like the ones listed here. We have the Rural Energy Pilot Program offering financial assistance to rural communities to further develop renewable energy, including community energy planning, efficiency and weatherization. The Emergency Load Reduction Program, which pays customers for reducing energy consumption during grid emergencies. CalSAPE, which provides funding to schools for HVAC and plumbing overhauls, for which SNEW can actually offer grant assistance. And the Regional Climate Collaboratives, which are capacity building grants focused on supporting under-resourced communities to secure funding and implement climate mitigation and adaptation projects. And all of these links will be dropped in the chat if you'd like to explore them later. And next we have current programs tailored to businesses, which include the Go Green Business Program, which finances energy efficiency projects for small businesses. Again, the Emergency Load Reduction Program and the Self-Generation Incentive Program, which offers rebates for installing energy storage technology. And for more information on community resilience as a whole for both public agencies and small businesses, you can explore PG&E's website, which is included in the links that we'll drop in the chat. Furthermore, we've added some upcoming PG&E training opportunities that we think you might find useful. The SNEW program has limited offerings for up to 65% discounted rate on building operator certification courses and smart building technical webinars. These are aimed at teaching building engineers and maintenance personnel how to make their buildings more environmentally friendly, efficient, and comfortable. For the other courses listed here, you can visit PG&E's training platform, register an account, and start exploring the full catalog. And those links will also be dropped in the chat. And if you'd like to stay informed on program updates or as well as funding opportunities and training ideas, we ask you to please check out the SNEW program webpage or consider signing up for the SNEW monthly newsletter to get this information directly to your inbox. Additionally, for more information on the vulnerability assessment, that type of work, you can check out Sierra Camp webpage. And we'll again drop these links in the chat. And so with that, that concludes our presentation. I'd like to thank you very much for spending the time today. If you have any follow-up questions on this presentation or about the programs in general, we ask you to please contact us at the email addresses listed here. And so I'm going to end my screen share, and if anyone has any comments or questions, we can open it up to the floor. Sure thing, Brandon. Glad you can make it. And if you have any concerns or issues with specific climate data from CalAdapt, they are fairly receptive to questions, so we encourage you to contact them as well. And that's a pretty interesting tool that we encourage planners alike to explore.
I have a question, Gary Bridges.
Yeah, go ahead, Gary.
I'm new to this, so bear with me. And I come from a logging background, and I just really know what these forest fires have done for the future for our snowpacks. They've affected the amount, the weather changes and everything. Is there anything that we can do to kind of push towards the Forest Service to replant? Because right now they don't really plan on it.
That's a really good question, and something I think we've come across a lot in both the Sierra Camp and SNEW. But I think that's probably a question for the Forest Service.
I'm sure it
yeah.
is, but if enough organizations and enough platforms such as this can apply just a little bit of pressure, you add it all up. Because I'll give you an example. Over at the Fountain Fire over the other side of Bernie, a lot of private land that burnt in 1992. All the private land is replanted, and that stuff's 14, 16 foot tall, and they're back to normal as far as what vegetation does for our weather patterns. And that's what really concerns me, because they don't replant. It's our only renewable resource. And I'm getting a little bit off subject here, but it does tie together with our yearly moisture and everything else. And they all work together, and you lose one part of that formula and the whole formula suffers. So I just wanted to put my 2 cents worth in on that, and anything I could do to help on that, that's one of my really big focuses. So I thank you, and I appreciate your report today, and looking forward to working with you for a long time.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I have a couple of responses, and then I'll go over to Jessica because I see her hand is up. On wildfire risk being as high as it is in a lot of these counties, we definitely encourage as much retrofitting as possible to really tap into those home hardening techniques. But to get to the heart of your, I think, question about pressuring agencies to make a change and replant, I would highly encourage you to look into the Sierra Camp membership.
Okay.
Because there we can partner, with other public agencies, businesses, and I'm pretty sure that federal agencies are involved as well, and we can start talking about those things and kind of make a joint effort to change things.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. And Jessica, I see your hand. Please go.
Hi, thank you, and thanks for the presentation and all your work on this. My name is Jessica Nelson. I'm from Golden State Power Cooperative. I work with the electric cooperatives in California. I'm curious, in all your work with vulnerability assessments that you've been doing, I've been very frustrated with a lot of how some of the rural areas are not characterized as disadvantaged, because our wildfire smoke is very transitory, but it's becoming more and more constant. I'm over in Plumas County. And so I'm curious if in your vulnerability studies, have you been able to work that in to kind of assess how impactful the wildfire smoke is on public health, on economy? There's so many impacts to our communities when there's evacuations and road closures and all those kind of things, plus the public health aspect of it. But I know a lot of tools like Cal and Virus Screen and things like that don't really see the wildfire smoke as something they can measure, and so they don't measure it. And so we end up kind of in the rural areas not having that stationary source of emissions, and then we don't get funding from the state because we're not considered disadvantaged. But there's a lot of reasons why we're bearing the brunt of some of the climate effects up here. And so I'm just kind of curious how you've been able to dig in there, and if you've been able to quantify that to help out our rural communities.
Yeah, definitely appreciate that comment. And I think what I would probably encourage you to do is, and I hate to just divert this, is to reach out to our project manager, Erica Harvey, and we can drop her email into the chat for you, because she has wrestled with this issue, as you've discussed, and would probably be the best person to ask. But I think it's all valid concerns, and something that has been a high priority to address for that project.
Great, thank you. I'll grab her email out of the chat. Thanks.
Yeah, sure thing. If there's anyone else with other questions or comments for the group, please go ahead. All right, well, with that, I guess we'll keep it short and simple. Thank you all for participating today. We really appreciate your attendance and your time. We know it's very limited and very valuable. Again, we encourage you to reach out to those programs that you might be mostly interested in, like the Sierra Nevada Vulnerability Assessment. And ultimately, if you're interested in pursuing energy efficiency services, we highly encourage you to connect with us over at the Sierra Nevada Energy Watch. So with that, thank you again, and we hope to hear from you.
We will also be sending out a copy of this recording and all relevant links as well in a follow-up.
Yes, thank you so much, Katie. Thank you very much, everyone. Take care.